Michiko Hatchin, episode 11, starting line Downpour. This is actually a really amazing episode. We got our dynamic duo back together by the end, so we're going to get to see them kind of continue on their journey. With this being episode 11, I have to assume that this is the halfway mark, so I think we might actually be getting a new opening next week, which I'm kind of excited for, if we do. Like, even if we don't, I really love the opening for this anime, but this is a really fun episode to watch. We got to see Michiko actually kind of encounter like another Michiko, which is pretty funny. We get to see Hatchin, in the circus again, and we find out that the circus actually blows a lot. Like, the reason Rita wasn't sold off into like child slavery is because she's one of their opening acts that kind of just gets them a bunch of money for the actual circus, and then all of these other kids are kind of just sold off, and we kind of assume that in the beginning of the episode, we get the reporter guy. We assume that it's fake. Like, he's like how it starts off. Like, especially the way they started off when we actually meet the guy. It's like, okay, he just makes up reports and it makes him seem like a douche. And then by the end of the episode, it's like, oh crap, they're actually taking these kids. He wasn't just making crap up to get a good story. This was actually happening. He did embellish, certain things, like with the chicken blood, and he's like, oh, why don't we just pour it on this kid's head, and I'm gonna just, sprinkle some chicken blood around this place so we can get our piece. And it turns out that these kids are being sold into child slavery, and the craziest thing about this episode to me is the fact that there are a group of kids literally sold off in this episode, and that's something that just happens. Like, it actually happens, and I assume, like, you all could figure it out just like I did when it actually happened. Once they were in, like, this random truck and they're just all shoved in the back, it was like, okay, that's definitely what's happening right now. And it kind of seemed that way when, they mentioned the whole picture thing. It was like, okay, it does kind of seem like that's where things are headed. But you have this reporter who constantly was getting his butt kicked, like, and also the guy, I wish, it was driving me crazy. I tried to rewind it just to figure it out. I do not know who that guy is played in some other anime. Like, normally I know who it is. Like, I either know them, typically I know them by voice, and I'm like, okay, I know exactly what character they've played. But he played somebody, and I think it was J. Michael Tatum. If the guy was named Gino, I can't remember exactly. But I was like, I know, of course, pretty much everyone is always in a billion different anime, but I'm like, there's a specific character, and it's driving me insane. I can't remember what anime it's from. I know it's something I've seen recently, and something that's popular enough. It's either on Toonami, or I've just watched it, in the past, but I think it's something very recent, and I cannot remember what anime it's from, and it's driving me insane. So if you guys know, or can just list off some anime that some other characters he's played, it would really help me out, because it's driving me nuts. I'm like, I know it's something I've seen a lot, because as soon as I heard his voice, I was like, oh, that's a voice I've heard, but I cannot place it in the anime. Eventually, once it's so many anime you watch, it's just like, I can't remember what minor character he was. Typically, main characters, it's easy to remember, but it's some minor character that shows up a lot, but not enough for me to remember who it is. So that's going to drive me insane. But I did love that character. He was really funny. Like I said, started off, it seemed like, okay, he's like this famous reporter, but he actually makes up a bunch of stories just to get his money and be famous. And, like, he goes in to try to save the kids, and then the woman instantly flips it on him. But, and that was another thing. Like, of course, with him still being in the sort of douche category, it was like, alright, she flipped it on him to make him seem like he's recording the kids for, like, child pornography. So it wasn't that suspicious when she first did it, like, oh, he's just this sleazy reporter trying to get a story. So it was like, no big deal. And then he got shot in the butt with a tranquilizer. I was like, oh snap, someone shot him in the ass, and he's knocked out. And then they put him in the ocean in a dumpster, and I was like, oh, these people are insane. Like, they put him in the ocean inside of a dumpster. This is really messed up and crazy. And then, like, just over and over again, like, I was like, alright, he got him with the truck the second time when he had, like, the little plank of wood with the nails on it. He socked the guy out, and then it's like, he's trying to help the kids, and they all go to, like, Fat Michiko. And then he gets hit in the head with a ladder. Then he goes and he tries to get on the air balloon, and he gets shot again with a tranquilizer dart. And the guy's just like, all right, and just pushes him off. I'm like, this guy is just not going to catch a break. But he exposes the story by the end. Fortunately, that's, like I said, they kind of, it's not the main focus of the episode, but that's like a super dark thing to just kind of glance over. Because there were like a dozen kids that got sold into slavery in this episode. And it's like, it sort of just happened, but it's like in my head now, like that really happened, and it just did. Like that's all there is to it. So like that's in my head as like a super crazy thing that happened in this episode because it technically did, but it just wasn't the focus. It was just like a part of the episode, and then it's Michiko and Hatchin finally being together. That's really what we're supposed to focus on. But it's hard not to think about that throughout the whole episode after it happened. I was just like, that happened, and that's really it. It just happened. So that was gonna be on my mind, like this whole review. Like like I said, since I saw that happen, it was just there. I was like, they sold those kids into slavery, and this guy was right, and he couldn't save those kids. You know, the first set of kids. So pretty crazy, just pretty weird, and it just happened the way that it happened. But it was a really good episode. Like, there was a lot of cool stuff in this. We got to see, like I said, we got to see Michiko finally come back and get Hatchin. And, of course, their interaction, she's like, well, I'm back. And it's like, what? Like, that was it. And then they have an argument. And, of course, Michiko is mad at the decision that she made. And then she realizes that things are kind of bad. And she goes and, you know, she saves her daughter. And it was a really cool moment. And also, Hatchin had, you know, once again, some really great, you know, kind of epic moments. Like, she saved all those other kids, and then when she ran to the top of the lighthouse, and she jumped on the balloon and caught the rope, and I think that may or may not have been something she kind of learned from Rita, but she, you know, spins on the rope, and she, like, kicks off, you know, Fat Michiko, like, right in the face, knocks her down, grabs the gun, and just throws it, and then she actually saves Michiko, and, like, they, you know, because Michiko's like knocked out. She's like, and I love that line. She was like, you know, just like, we're over the ocean. Just drop me. I'll be fine. And it's like, your hit was like, you know, two tranquilizer darts, you know, for small game or whatever. And it's like, you aren't going to be fine. You'll drown because you're unconscious. And I love that. I just thought it was really funny because I said the exact same thing as Hatchin. I'm like, you'll be unconscious. You'll die. Just because it's soft water, it's like if you're asleep in the water, you'll drown in the water. Especially since it was like a crazy storm and everything, she definitely would have been done for. But Hatchin had a really cool moment, and it's like, you know, I can't pull her back in, so I'm gonna, you know, let go of this thing, and we're gonna drop in the water, and I'm gonna, you know, I assume she's kind of swam to shore, carrying Michiko, and it was just a really cool moment. And it looked visually, it also looked cool when she let it go, and they're actually pretty high up, and they're just falling, and it just looked really cool. It's like, this is a cool moment, and it was also very emotional for Hatchin because it's like she realized how much Michiko really cared, and it was just a really cool moment, and she made the decision to care about Michiko as well, and she's like, I'll never let you go again. And I love that moment. It was just really cool. And then she saved her, and they swim to shore, and they're on like this. It seemed like they were on an island, but I'm sure they were just on some part of the beach. And it was just really cool. And then she, you know, sees her friend Rita, and that's kind of it. It was like, all right, things are crazy. I guess the circus is still going on with good people, and Fat Michiko and the other dude. But Rita was kind of just like, alright, we'll see each other soon. And then she goes off, and I assume she's going back to the circus. And we have our little duo back together. And, you know, as Michiko said, they have a long journey ahead. So I'm excited for, you know, whatever episodes we're getting next. We got the two back together. It was just definitely a good episode. I really enjoyed it. The comedy in this was definitely insane. Like, just the reporter was silly. The whole ending was like cool. It was kind of cool as far as action, but it also had a lot of good comedy. Like, there was a lot of stuff that happened that was just really crazy. Like, after Hatchin got saved by Michiko, and Michiko's like, you know, I'm the only Michiko that'll care about you. And then she throws her off the balloon. I'm like, that is way too high for anyone to actually survive. And she, you know, she lands and just falls face first. And then we have Michiko versus Fat Michiko. And she's just getting hit in the face. And I think that was closer to when they were towards the lighthouse. And I'm just like, how is this woman... Like, she's just so tough. Like, she's just getting hit in the head with the butt of a rifle. And it's like nothing. She's holding on to this rope. I would at least just slid down. Like, I'm just going to slide down like a little bit so you can't reach me. But she was just taking hit after hit. And it was kind of funny. And at the same time, like, you know, really cool action stuff. But the dialogue would be kind of funny, but cool at the same time. And that's kind of Michiko's thing. Like, it'll be cool, but it'll also be a little funny because she'll generally be insulting someone or doing something crazy where it's cool, like what she says to Hatchin, and then doing something crazy like throwing her off what had to have been like 10 to 20 feet high. It had to be like 20 feet. It couldn't have been 10 feet tall. That was like 20 feet off the ground, and she was just like, well, there you go. Safety. Like, just flying through the sky. She would have totally been messed up. But in the anime world, you can do crazy stuff like that, and the worst that'll happen is she'll fall on her face in some mud, and she was fine. But I love this episode. It's good to see them back together by the end of it. Michiko still has like her bruised up face and stuff when she took off the glasses, which were instantly broken, and I don't think she ever had those glasses before because they were like red. And I was like, oh, that kind of sucks because they looked really cool. Like, her old costume looked kind of cool, which she definitely didn't have in the last episode, which was like, I wouldn't possibly know what to call it, but it was that tank top short shorts combo thing. So it wasn't that. It was short shorts as always, because that seems to be all she wears. But she had like a really cool outfit in this episode. I just thought it looked really sweet with the dark blue and the glasses, which was also really funny because not only was it night, but it was like a thunderstorm. It's like raining and dark and thunder and everything, and she still has the glasses. And I just thought that looked really funny. But I love this episode. It was a great episode to come back to after not having a new episode last week because of Labor Day. And, you know, had the whole marathon. Then I didn't watch it because I've seen the episodes. But good new episode to come back to. I definitely loved it. We got to see see our little duo reunite. And I'm really excited because I do believe this is like almost the halfway mark for the series. I don't want to say how many episodes there are, but I think I've seen how many just looking up certain stuff for the show. Like, you see, like, here's Michiko and Hatchin episode whatever. So we're kind of at the halfway mark, I believe. But I'm excited to see where they go. Like, it was just a really good episode. The child slavery thing still just in my head, like, that really happened. It was just like, it was almost like real life. It just happened. The guy was trying to stop stuff, and he just didn't stop one thing that happened. And that was just kind of it. Like, those kids are just gone. So that's in my head as a downer moment. But other than that, like, for the actual focus of the episode, the happier, much happier stuff, the villain did get caught at the end. I like to assume the cops were great and they caught the other people, just because I like things to really be nice and happy. But we got Michiko and Hatchin back together. We also got to see Rita's boyfriend in the beginning, which was a clear indication that they were going to run into each other in this episode. So that was good. Like, as soon as they showed him, I'm like, alright, this is officially the episode where Michiko and Hatchin are going to end up together again. And he just had his weird moment cooking some spam out on this random desert road. Like, I don't know what his deal is. Like, if he's an orphan or what, but just this black kid with blonde hair, just a black blonde, cooking up some spam out on the road. But that was it. He had his little moment, and it was like, alright, they're going to see each other in this episode, so that was nice. And like I said, I'm excited to see what we get, but I do want to know what you guys thought about this one, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts, and what do you guys think of the reunion? Did you think it was well done? Did you wish it had happened in a different way? Did you think it was going to happen in a different way? Because as far as I was concerned, I knew that they would have to run into each other, and I figured, because Hatchin made the decision to go with the circus, I knew she wouldn't leave the circus unless, things kind of happen this way, and in which case, that she would have probably left the circus afterwards. But, considering it didn't happen that way, it's the way that it is. So I enjoyed it, but like I said, I want to know what you guys thought, so please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.